Welcome once again back to the lab. It is your old Professor Pilk. We need to talk today about Shiny Meloetta. There's a lot of misunderstandings about how this Pokemon is acquired. We've talked about it a little bit before, but I don't think we've actually gone into depth on how to acquire this. And a lot of people are new at the game. A lot of people got the game for the first time, or maybe are acquiring the game for the first time. Or there's just a misunderstanding on how this works. We're going to talk about this. But before we do that, pardon me for a moment. I'm just going to do a little bit of self-promotion for one quick second. So, at the risk of making my green screen very mad, this is my Gen 4 Dex. And if you notice, I don't know if you can really see it there, it's all shinies, guys. We have the full Gen 4 shiny Dex. I've got 5, 6, and 7, as well as 1 and 2 all coming. We've already done 3. We're going to fast track it. I do kind of feel like the Pokemon Direct here at the end of February is probably going to announce the end of Bank. So we are going to fast track this. So for those of you guys that are looking to do like I'm doing here with the Shiny Living Dex, we will cover all of that. And there's some fun stuff in there to cover and some time-consuming stuff to cover, which is why that took so long. Nevertheless, a little shameless self-promotion. Let's actually talk about Meloetta. So particularly pertaining to her, the way you acquire her, to make it real simple, is you do have to have one of every Pokemon in the Paldea Dex. So let's kind of go out here for a second. I'm going to exit without saving. And I'll kind of explain what I mean by that, because it's not as cumbersome as you think. So if I go over here to the Dex and I go down to Paldea, you do have to have one of every single one of these Pokemon. But when it comes to, especially like with your starters, remember, when you first register Scarlet and Violet into Pokemon Home, you will get one of each starter. So regardless of whether you chose Sprigatito, Fuecoco, or Quaxly, all 3 are going to be in Pokemon Home for you right from the get-go. Now, little explanation here: you do have to have the mobile app in order to accept it. Go back and watch my video on the codes in order basically to see how that's all done, because you do have to do all of the gifts and things like that through the mobile app. It's something you download on your phone or tablet, but it's really not that big of a deal, and I've already kind of covered it to death, so I'm not really going to do that too in depth here. But basically, get your Sprigatito, or your Fuecoco, or your Quaxly, or all 3, take them back into Pokemon Scarlet, Violet, whatever you've got, and then upgrade them, okay? Get you a Florgato, get you a Crocolore, get you a Quaxwell, then bring it back into Pokemon Home, register it, and then bring it back to Scarlet and Violet. Now, it is a little time-consuming. Let me kind of explain why that is, because, I don't know, it's probably like the most time-consuming thing about this. So here's an absolutely phenomenal example. So when I've got all these Pokemon here, obviously I want to register them. All I got to do is just move them over here, and then I will have to hit the plus key and then save and exit, and then that's going to register that mon in Home. Just having them in here does not register them home. They have to be registered in the app, and then all that good stuff. And that's the part that does get time-consuming. But obviously, I can then go take that Pokemon back into Pokemon, in this case, Scarlet. Let's go ahead and open up Scarlet again. And then bring that Pokemon back over, upgrade him, bring it back, and so on and so forth. And I would really recommend doing this. Like, if you've got like multiple Pokemon that you are upgrading, go ahead and grab them and do like a dozen of these or so of these at a time. It really is not that big of a deal. It's slightly time consuming, but it's not scary. So I've got all these starters here, and that's exactly how I did mine. I took them all, upgraded them, moved them back and forth. It took an afternoon. It really was not that scary. The main thing you want to look for is this mark right here. That little terrestrialized mark means that they are from Scarlet and Violet. All your Pokemon that you register have to have that. Case in point, she's got that. And actually, funny enough, my Shiny Greninja has that. But if I go forward here a little bit, Evolutions are a great one. All my Evolutions have the Gen 1, Gen 2 mark, which is super fun. So if they have that mark, or case in point, I think I actually have a Primarina in here that has the proper marks. Oh, these are from Paldea. These guys are all from Sun and Moon. So they have the incorrect mark. Their registration will not count. Even if I evolve them, they still will not count. I will have to use the versions that I bred in Scarlet and Violet in order to utilize that. So just another example of how this is kind of a weird caveat, but so long as they have that, they are good to go. And like I said, not super time consuming. Now, we do need to talk paradoxes. This is the part that's not going to be a lot of fun. If you are version specific, you are going to have the paradox that you want or the Paradox that's equal to the Paradox you want ready for trade. Now, there's a lot of online communities. I personally have a Discord. It's in the description of every video. I would love for you guys to come join the Discord, and I would love to have a lot of really great active Pokemon players that want to just form a good community in my Discord. We do cover a number of other games in the Discord. It'd be a great place to have you just in general. I said no more self-promotion, but that's really not for me. That's actually more of a community aspect of it. It's there for you guys to share. If you do not have the DLC and you want Okie Doggy Monkey Dory in Fesdipity, I would highly recommend you find somebody that you trust and then trade them something that is of equal value so that they're prone to give you that back, or, or come up with a qualified trade that you think is worthwhile to you that you're willing to trade those for. That's kind of the best way to do it. There is that community aspect to it, and that's how you're going to get the Paradoxes and the Legendaries that aren't necessarily in the DLC. But when it comes to like Poltergeist and Sinistea, you could probably get these guys through Wonder Trades. In fact, I got my first one through a Wonder Trade. Funny enough. Paradoxes like Roaring Moon, or let's say Iron Treads, or things like that. Same basic idea. Find a community, get some trades going. Just the best, easiest way to handle that whole situation. There will have to be a community aspect to it at some point. That's about the best way to do it. But let's be fair, when it came to like Miraidon, Koraidon, and just registering them for your base decks, it was really no different. So none of that should be cumbersome or something unfamiliar to most Pokemon players out there. Also worth noting, I don't have Pekaron. You could do this without Pekaron. I never completed that storyline. I really meant to, and I probably should now. So for those of you that have not done that, we'll cover that here soon, because I personally need to. All the legendaries that are hidden throughout Paldea, you don't need to have those either, but there are certain mon that you do need to have, so let's jump back over to the game here and talk about that. Oh, this is absolutely perfect. So if I really wanted to like register Pwami here, I would just get one of those. I can actually catch him real quick, I think. Yeah. So all I'd have to do is just catch him. In fact, I'm going to throw a quick ball at him, see if we can make this fast. And then register him, do the upgrade, register him, do the upgrade. Is that a crit catch? Excellent. Excellent. Awesome. Worked out perfectly. I meant to do that, I mean. So essentially what you're going to do is just then go back over to home, register him, bring him back over, upgrade him, take him back to home, register him, upgrade him. And like I said, the easiest way to do that is just to do that with multiple Pokemon, just back and forth. Oh. That's a Floette, not a Flabebe. Obviously, I'd want to do it with Flabebe. Pretty easy, though. Pretty straightforward. Now, here's where it gets a bit weird, but let's go into our Pokédex here. And I'm going to specifically go to the Blueberry Dex to discuss this, because Blueberry Dex is the one that has a lot of weird mon in there. My Alolan Executors all have the Gen 1, Gen 2 mark. Watch my videos on that to kind of understand why that is the case. Rhyperior's got old marks, things like that. So what I needed to do is I need to go in and get a Rhydon from this game. Let's say, for the sake of argument, there's some Pokemon that you don't have, or you don't have the DLC in general, then just start trading. Start doing Wonder Trades like crazy, and you'll be able to get them. Even if you just have a Scyther, you can get a Cleaver just by doing some upgrades in the game. It's really not that hard, and all the items should be available in the core game, not necessarily requiring the DLCs. But you do have to have every single one of these, and as I said, you have to have them in Scarlet and or with the Scarlet and Violet kind of that little terastallized mark. That little terastallized mark is what makes all the difference in the world. So you will have to have all of these, but all this information is out there online. You just have to have them with that Terra mark, and pretty much straightforward. But that's that. It's really not that cumbersome, really not that scary. Now, if you want to, once again, know how to do the collect the reward, you have to do that in the mobile app. I've covered that in the code video. Go watch the code video on the subject. But that's it. There's 400 mon here, 200 mon there, and 240 mon there. But there's a lot of cross-pollination. Case in point. Obviously, over here, we've got, let's go find one that I know is a point of it. Actually, I believe Houndoom is. We got Poochyena, Mightyena. Oh, there you go. Pikachu. Great example. The whole Pikachu line. Come on. They're like everywhere. Oops. No. No. There we go. There we go. So you got the whole Pikachu line, obviously, over there in Kitakami. If we go up here a bit, we should have the whole Pikachu line in here. I know we do. Just got to find it. There it is. So Pichu, Pikachu, and Raichu over here. Pichu, Pikachu, and Raichu over here. And I believe they're in Blueberry. I'd be shocked if they weren't. Let's go ahead and do this. Ooh. Let's go ahead and do this by A to Z. And are they not? They are hilariously not. I'm color me shocked. I couldn't remember, I'll be honest. But there are a lot of other mon in here that are. And when it comes to all of the, like, Primarina is a great example. A mon that we got through Raid. If you got the Primarina through Raid and you bred out all the other versions, they all count towards your goal there. So most of you probably already 90% of the way there. Easy stuff, straightforward. Now, if you do not have the DLC and if you miss the raids, Wonder Trades are going to be your best bet. And this is kind of my call out to those people that did do the raids, that did have the DLC and all that. Start doing some Wonder Trades. I've got boxes of boxes of boxes of mon that I was trying to breed when I was doing my shiny breeding that would make great Wonder Trades. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to hold on to a bunch of those for the raids, I'm sorry, for the streams. But it's that easy. It's really not that cumbersome. And if you pace yourself and you take your time and you plan, it won't take that long. I think once we got the note. Why are you in the water? What? I don't think they're supposed to swim. He clearly is, though. Well, good grief. But nevertheless, pretty easy, pretty straightforward. I hope that makes more sense. If there's any more questions or if it was more confusing this way, let me know in the comments. If you want to know how to collect it, like I said, that's in the other video on the gift codes. That'll be in every gift code video going forward. So, because I don't think that's ever going to time out. So make sure you guys like, comment, share, and I'll be back with a lot more coming up here really soon.